You're listening to episode 569 of the Father Bills Podcast. Welcome back to the Father Bills Podcast. In this week's episode, I have a couple of things happening that you need to be aware of. First of all, our school choir. We have a grade school at our church. They will be doing the singing at the Mass, and so I focus my homily with them and speak directly to them. And so you may hear something from them, but know that that's what I'm referring to when I speak to the children. But also there's a young little toddler named Victor, and he's going to be baptized as well at that Mass. So those are two things at play, and so I want to let you know that when you listen to it. So this week's episode is entitled, Give It Away, given on the 26th Sunday in Ordinary Time, 2016. Today we hear in the scripture, well, we could possibly hear this in the scripture, that those who are rich are doomed to hell, and those who are poor are guaranteed heaven. Does it seem like a problem that there's there? Is that really what is being trying to be taught? Well, let me illustrate this, if I might. Because you're right, it's not what's being taught. But I get my little bag of goodies here. My St. Anne Catholic Church / school bag that you can buy at the offices or the school for $5 each. Just a little advertising there. So I was at Costco this last week. This is a real story. It's not a made-up one. And I saw this wonderful hat, and I thought, oh, it's such a beautiful hat. I got to wear this. Oh, look at that hat. It's so gorgeous. It's so orange, right, kids? I saw duck hats there, but I only decided I was going to, I'm an Oregon State Beaver twice. So this is a gorgeous hat, but here's my problem. Not because they're beavers. That's not the problem. As I have a lot of hats. I realized that actually I was just going to buy another hat. This is absolutely the truth. And I thought to myself, I can visualize in my bedroom a row of hats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I can imagine the hats that are in my closet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Do you see a problem here? Yeah, there's a real problem here. I can't buy this hat, I said, unless I give away other hats. I thought even one hat for one hat is not good enough, not for this hat. So I decided, by the way, I'm also a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Anybody Steelers? Anybody? Okay, good for you. I gave away my 2 Steeler Super Bowl hats and division hats to a Steeler fan who's the cook at the school today. When you go and you have our spaghetti dinner, just thank Bill Miller, because he's a big Steeler fan. He's also a Beaver fan. That's why I like him. Maybe it's because his name is Bill, too. I don't know. They're coincidental, but I'm going to go with it. Nonetheless. But then I said, I have all these other hats, and I don't wear them. So I decided I cannot buy this hat unless I commit myself to giving them away. So I gave away a good half of what I had. I still have I have still more hats. I can give them away, but I did buy this hat. But I just wanted to illustrate the point that I was rich in hats, but that richness, in my case, was causing a problem. Do you see some kind of issue with collecting things here? What do they call people that do that at the extreme? It's hoarding. I was hoarding hats. I don't need 20 hats. Do you need 20 hats? And I thought to myself, well, some people have shoes. Like I must be the Imelda Marcos of hats, maybe. But do you have... So I looked at my shoes. I go, I got 3 sets of tennis shoes. Actually, I was going to buy a pair of shoes there. I said the same thing to myself, like, oh, these are such nice tennis shoes. I go to myself, I can't buy these tennis shoes. Not unless I give away the tennis shoes I have. So I bought these tennis shoes, and I gave away 5 pair of tennis shoes. It tells you something. Now, granted, they're not on the great condition, but I just held on to them. Like I got this one that if I was going to help out the people grinding the stumps and cutting down the trees like they did today, I'd wear those kind. Of course, did I help them today? No. I've said that many times, and I never wore them. And so what I had to do is I had to get rid of them. Because I don't want to be like that rich man who, by the way, in the story, is nameless. His richness caused him to go to hell. Now, money, by the way, is neutral, but it can be the cause of great sin in our lives, right? The love of money is a source of many great sins. But it doesn't have to be money. It can be stuff. When I was a teenager, about 14, 15, man, was I a Steeler fan. In fact, I took a class. It was one of the classes we had to do for health and all that. And it was on, and now when I look back, I go, they must have been talking about obsessive compulsive disorder, because I started looking, I went into my bedroom and I went, oh my goodness, everything is gold and black with a Steeler logo on it. I mean, short of my bedspread and all that, having it. I'm like, I think we got a problem here. Danger, Will Robinson, danger, right? As a 7th grader, or 8th grader, I figured that out, and I go, I've got to stop this. So I gave away a good chunk of what I had. And in fact, in college, I cut off the Steelers. Didn't watch a thing, didn't watch television even, because how many of us have that with television? I got to watch the television. I mean, if I don't watch the news once, I got to watch it twice. I watch maybe some cartoons. It's not enough to watch the same cartoon once, right? We have to watch it twice or 10 times, right? I'm like, why do we do that? So we can overdo things, and that's what was going on. So even right before I came here for the Mass, I realized just about 3 days ago, I went to Fred Meyer. And there's a collegiate section, and it's all 30% off. I'm like, ooh, shiny orange things, shiny green things. And guess what I bought? I had to buy some orange cups. Not any orange cups, but Oregon State Beaver cups, because I'm a camper. I like camping, and it's better to have cups so you don't have to do the dishes and all that kind of stuff. Didn't this last week autumn hit? I mean, like with a bang, like rain and all that? What's the likelihood that we're going to be camping now? Very little. In fact, I'm about to winterize my trailer. I'm like, what in the world am I doing with these cups? I should not have these cups. So I'm not going to. I'm going to give them to the kids. And you know what I'm going to do? This is great for you because you're going to here you go, take one. Take one. Because these, you can have spaghetti dinner. We're having spaghetti dinner. You have siblings. There, take 4. And yep. You want more? Yeah. Oh, good. There we go. Rami, because you're new, I'm going to give you one. And you're. You're a Ducks fan, but so we're the Thomasons. But now they're Beaver fans too. You're a Beaver fan. You better be a Beaver fan. You're a Beaver fan. You're a Beaver fan. I don't need that. I don't need these. I can't have these anymore. Just take one. Just get them away. I don't want to know what you're going to do with them. Now, I'm kind of making a joke about this, but this is actually very serious. I bought something I didn't need. It was shiny and cool, and I didn't need it. That is what's going to cause me to go to hell. And that's me. I got to be mindful of what am I doing to deprave myself of the gifts of God? Because there's nothing wrong with those hats as a hat, or those cups as a cup. They're just objects. But what am I putting into it? Am I idolatrizing them? They are idols to me. See, the person that was poor didn't have any of those distractions. You might say this is the wealth of the poor. Sounds strange. They don't have that stuff to distract them by. See, what we're called to do is give away that which we have. In fact, think about what's most precious to you. What is the most precious? A person, a thing, I don't know what it would be, a situation, a team, a hobby. And are you being called actually to give it away? Or is it for you to hoard? I mean, this is a loaded question, right? See, everything we've been given is the stewardship. Nothing is ours. Nothing. My life is not mine. Did I cause myself to become into being? Did Victor here, who's about to be baptized, say, you know what? I think I want to be. I'm going to be. And all of a sudden he became the child. No. There's nothing we own. And this is what helps me. When I read that scripture, I go, but we are rich. The family here is rich. You know what we're most rich in, and it's really important, and our young ones need the most before everything else, is faith. We are rich because we have faith. And you know what the family's about to do and what they've started already? By that ritual at the beginning of Mass, they promised that they're going to give away to their child the most precious thing they have. And here's the thing. I'm the ninth of nine. My mom was asked this question. Oh, man, another child? How do you love all these children? Don't you feel like after number 9, you're kind of divided by your love? That's what our culture says. After 3, you can't possibly love them all. It's been said. My mom has walked out of the supermarket when I was a little kid crying because someone at the checkout stand shamed her for having children. This is not unusual. If she had 9 today, I bet she would have, probably even more. Because, unfortunately, some of our culture is looking at children as a problem. Ask my mom, she's 90, almost 91 now. She would say, every single child is a gift. That doesn't mean I was always great. But it was a gift to her. Her love expanded more. Here's the deal. You want joy, you want happiness. Don't hoard. There's no happiness in hoarding. I know because I had 20 hats. Now I have a fraction of that. Will I stay that way? I don't know. Well, pray for me. What do we have? Because see, when we give away, that's when we're going to find joy. And the most important thing is what's going to happen today. You're giving away, you've made the promise. We're going to give away as a family even. That which is most precious to us. And it's not a commodity that is a shortage. It's God's grace that's going to ever be giving, ever be loving. It's overflowing. It can never be filled completely. It can never be emptied out. It's a mystery that is God's. And so when Victor here, God bless Victor, he's going to be baptized in a very few moments. In that baptism, God's grace is going to pour on him, and the promise is that God is going to graft him onto Christ's life through his suffering, death, and resurrection, and always be with him. Do you know that he's still with you? Even though you might have been like Victor as a child, baptized, sometimes we don't feel like it. Sometimes so many hard things happen in our lives that we don't feel God. Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa, had decades of feeling abandoned by God. But she had this one gift, the absolute knowledge of God's love of her. And it drove her for decades, regardless of how she felt, because she felt nothing. How about us? Are we looking for maybe that's what we're hoarding. I need the feeling. And if I don't feel it, then it's not there. I'm like, whoa. God is. Whether you think it, feel it, or know it or not. That's my job, is to remind us all. God is bigger than our feelings, and what He wants us to know is to come to know Him. And then once we come to know Him, to abandon ourselves to Him and give ourselves away. Because when we lose ourselves, we find ourselves. When we start gathering and trying to please ourselves, we become miserable eventually. It can only go so long. And when we give ourselves away, it's my observation, and I have a privileged place as the priest, I see people giving themselves away. The Knights of Columbus today were here in force, cutting down the extra trees. By the way, people are asking why the trees being cut down. So that was a question on Facebook. Right before Mass, I said, because the trees were watered too much, their roots are now too shallow, and they have fallen almost on cars. We've almost taken out cars. All it has to do is snow. That's enough weight to push them down. So they're going away. Yeah, there might be more trees coming someday. They're expendable. In fact, they're being chopped up. If you'd like some wood, in all seriousness, just take it. Just take it with you. It's yours to have. These are your trees, and they're yours to give away. But know that soon, one of our goals, and our principal, Ms. Katraba, who's the keyboardist today, one of our goals, right, is to then take the playground, pick it up, and move it back down here, because that's good for our kids. When they when they wanted to use the playground, they have to go march all the way up the hill, which is good exercise, but it's hard to watch. It's hard to manage. Imagine if they're nearby. So it's part of a plan. We want to lift up the school in that regard. So let's start giving away that which we are hoarding. You may not have 20 hats. Maybe you have 5, but you're never going to let go of 4 of them. Maybe you need to think about it. Don't let anything grab a hold of you except for the love of Jesus Christ. Don't let anything, ideology, club, sport, team, anything, hobby. And this is hard because we all have our interests. It's not bad. It's about keeping them in perspective. In fact, when you do that, you'll enjoy them more. Trust me. I like football now more. When the Steelers lose and the Beavers lose and the Ducks lose and Denver loses and all these other teams that I like, when they all lose, you know what? My day is still okay. That's a good litmus test. When your team loses, are you in a horrible mood? That's a litmus test. You got a problem. You got to admit to it. I got a problem and I can't get up, right? Well, then let God remind you who the real winner is. You know, Jesus Christ is not just a superhero. Jesus Christ is God incarnate. And he loves us perfectly. He is without fault and without sin. And only he will follow us without any quid pro quo, without any kind of, unless you love me, I'll love you back. He'll never abandon us. I give myself to him. And I'm very joyful that Victor is going to join us on this journey. So Victor, do you think you want to be baptized? Yeah, mom and dad say so. Grandparents say so. Let's do it. So if I could ask then our saxophonists to come over. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Father Bill's podcast. You can contact me or ask questions if you like by going to my website, fatherbill.org, FRBILL.org, as well as you can find my social media connections therein. And I will do my best to respond back to you if you ask a question or try to contact me. And so until next time, may God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.